Hello, everyone. Happy holidays. My name is Keyshawn. I am doing another YouTube video after 4 years. It has been 4 long years since I have done a video. And the reason for that is because there's been a lot of changes in my life. A lot of things has taken place. Unfortunately, my mother passed away January 31st of 2020, and I've been learning how to live life without my mom. I've been going through that grieving process. And also, I have been a little hesitant about making another video because there's been some things that has came out, and I have to be considerate of people's feelings. I don't want to offend anyone in my family. I want to be careful about what I say because some things in this video I'm going to talk about may be very sensitive for some people, and they may not like what I'm going to say. So if I feel like if anybody has anything they need to say to me, they should give me a call. This video is about why I chose to do 23andMe and AncestryDNA. I chose to do these DNA tests because of my father. I just wanted to prove my paternity. My father has been deceased since I've been a little girl. When I was 18 years old, I tracked down his family. And some people had some doubts about me. They doubted my paternity, but from my understanding, my father never denied me from what I've been told. I'm not going to talk about how I tracked down his family today because that's a very long video. I don't know when and how I should share that because I have talked to a religious person, and they thought maybe it may not be a good idea for me to share that because it is an awesome testimony, and nobody but God helped me find my family. It's really amazing how that happened, and if I explain this, they may not really understand. People may not really understand, how and why this happened. But back to the DNA part. When I was in my 20s, I wanted to do DNA testing. This DNA testing was entirely my idea. In 2015, someone had introduced to me, explained 23andMe and Ancestry. I had heard of it, but I really didn't quite understand it until somebody I know talked to me about this, and I did a lot of research, a ton of research about the DNA testing. In fact, this individual even paid for my DNA testing because they thought that it may be a possibility that we could be related. We share some relatives, but we don't have any relation. It was important to me to find my dad's family. It's been a very long journey. It's been an eye-opener. It's been a lot. And like I said, I want to be very careful about what I talk about in this video because I'm going to reveal some things about my family, and some people may not like what I'm going to be saying. I'm not doing this to hurt anybody's feelings or anything, but that's the main reason why I wanted to do DNA. Like I said, my father died when I was a young child. I never really knew him. I had to go find his family when I turned 18. I barely even knew anything about his family when I was coming up or about him. I didn't even know the day he died or when he was born. All I knew, he was 50 years old when I was born. He was somewhere around 50. He had been married a couple times. He had some grown kids. He had served in the military. And my mom gave me the name of one of his sisters and a couple cousins of mine. And I wanted to get to know these people. So I tell anybody, when you do these DNA tests, you don't know what you're going to find. You really, really don't know. By me doing DNA, I found relatives that I didn't know I had. I've been able to connect people with other relatives. There was somebody who was put up for adoption in their family. And by me doing DNA and other cousins doing DNA, we were able to help them get in touch with their biological mom's family. There was some people in my family that nobody had heard from for over 25 years. And one day, one of the relatives took the DNA test, and, you know, I had a cousin who is doing the genealogy and add that work on the family trees. We discovered who they were, and we were able to put them in contact with some of our other relatives. So there have been some blessings to these DNA tests. And I tell people all the time, when you do these DNA tests, be careful, because you don't know what you're going to find out. 23andMe and Ancestry is not responsible for what you find out. Now, when you take these DNA tests, they're going to send you out a big old test tube. And you're going to put about 1 inch of saliva and put this preservative that comes in the kit down in the test tube, and you're going to send it off. But first, you're going to register the serial number online, and they're going to connect you with people that are in their database. Only the people that's in the database. There's been people who found out that they were adopted. There's been some people who, you know, didn't know who their real dad was, and they was able to find that out. You had people who mom lied to them about their paternity, and they were very hurt. So family secrets do come out with these tests. In my family, there were rumors that someone else was my mom's biological dad, and that was very hard for her. I took DNA, and my half brother took DNA as well, and my son took DNA, and we learned who my mom's biological dad was through we taking DNA and we figuring this out. So it's been a long journey. I've learned who my mom's biological dad is. Unfortunately, he died in 1990, but his children and grandchildren and other relatives in his family took DNA, and we all matched these people. Also, a couple of his kids were told that they had a sister in New Orleans. So it all matches up. I've been accused of, you went out and found her family, but all I did was take a DNA test, and my information just sits in the database. And whoever takes a DNA test, if we match, they'll show up on my DNA relatives. That's how I found out. The way I look at it, the people literally really fell in my lap. I didn't have to do anything. I didn't even know who these people were until I took a DNA test, and they did a DNA test. And we are very high matches. We're very high matches, meaning that we are related. And this is no third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh. No, this is uncle, aunt, first cousin relationships. And we were like, wow. So that did come out, and I do want to meet these people one day. I really do. But unfortunately, because of the pandemic and other things that were going on in my life, I do intend on meeting these people. And I tell anybody, You know, like the old people used to say, what don't come out in the wash will come out in the rinse. And I tell people all the time, be careful when you do these DNA tests. A lot of people have their reasons for doing it. Some people just want to know their admixture results. Some people, a lot of black folks been told they were part Native American and they're doing these tests to try to find out if they have some Native American. And sometimes those stories are not panning out. But people take these DNA tests because they want to know how much German or how much Indian or how much European they have. But what they're not realizing is there's more to these tests. You may be contacted by someone who's adopted. You may be contacted by a child of a sperm donor. You may find out that you've been lied to your whole life. It's been some people who's taken these tests and never knew they were adopted because their adopted family never shared that conversation. They never thought that this information would come out, but it did. So guys, I'm here to say that this is why I did DNA. And I have no regrets about it. I was able to prove that my dad was my dad because of my DNA matches. I matched several people in his family. Some of my first cousins' kids did DNA. And then I was able to get one of my dad's children to finally do the test. And we came back related. So I'm satisfied. I feel like, hey, I can go on with my life. I have the closure that I was looking for. And the DNA could be a blessing to many. Like I said earlier, there's been some good in people finding out things through the DNA. And my DNA has helped some people as well. So guys, I hope this video has been a blessing. Have a great day and happy holidays again. Peace.